Well, I just hit the live button, but I can record. If you're asking me to record it and send it to you, I can do that.
Nah, it's fine. I'll do it on my end.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? We should be live now? We should be live now.
Panic.
We are live now. Hey, let's go. Gutless Mist.
Hello, chat.
Union Ants. More Gutless Sherlock. Rick. Plus Ultra. All you guys. How you guys doing
A lot
today?
of goats in the chat. What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the best of the best.
That's the best.
Absolutely. So, welcome everybody. This is the first time we are doing something like this. I'm not even positive what this is, but I know this is going to be awesome because of the people I've gathered to do this with us. I haven't entered into the actual talking points of everything yet. I'm just saying, hi everybody. How you doing? Hope everything is going swell. If anybody is in chat and you have some constructive criticism for anything we are talking about, if you have your own talking points that you want to bring up, anything at all, be sure to say that in chat. You guys can see you're kind of showing up on screen right now as well. You can say hi, Mom, if you want. And when we get to the, open forum portion of it, like taking your guys' suggestions and stuff, we touch on that as well. So if anybody has any constructive criticism, any comments on it, if you think that what I'm saying is stupid and I'm an idiot, say that. That is perfectly fine. Don't bully my guests, bully me. I don't like that. But yeah, that covers just about everything. So let's get into the actual talking portion.
Oh, and like the stream, obviously.
Yes, like, comment, subscribe. And if you're looking for anybody here, you can find them in the description below. I added each of their channels as well. You should be able to just click it, open it up. We have Div from Haven. We have the Haven YouTube channel. We have WabbleTCG. We have the Wobble YouTube channel. We have Anto from Draw 3. I wasn't sure which one to use, so I linked it to your channel, which is Lullaby Anto.
Yes,
okay.
And
Jimy,
Identity crisis.
And Jimy,
not even an identity crisis, bro.
And Jimy from Card Nerds, you are linked as well. So if anybody's looking at any of these people, we had somebody in a different chat today call us the Big Five of UA, but we're the people who have been making good quality, fun content that's been fun to do and fun to engage with people. So if you're interested, check out everyone. If you're not already following them, you're making a mistake. But yeah, let's get into the actual talking point that we can make a video out of, everyone.
That's a great introduction.
Yeah, W. George for putting this together.
Yeah, of course. So,
No.
Hello and welcome, everybody out there in Union Arena land. Welcome to our first large-scale discussion forum stream. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. This is the first time all of us are sitting down together to actually talk about the state of Union Arena in a long-form way. We've all had our own takes. We have our own videos. We've had our own conversations, either behind closed doors, with the community, anywhere that it's been. But this is the first time we're bringing it all together in one place. Before we get into the meta talk, format, health, or anything about fixing the game, I want to make something very clear. This conversation is coming from a place of love for Union Arena. Every single person here plays this game because we enjoy it. We travel for it. We compete for it. We like hanging out watching other people play it. Whatever it is, we all love this game. We build content around it, and we care about the community. So this isn't going to be doom posting or negativity. This is about constructive discussion, what's working, what's not, what we'd like to see improved, most importantly, and how Bandai can help the game thrive long term. We want the game to succeed. That's the foundation of this whole conversation. So, with that being said, I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves real quick for anyone who might not know you. Div, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Dev. I'm from GG Haven. We're a small, really nice community that we've built over the past year. We've been doing Union Arena and some other TCGs. Union Arena has always been our fan favorite because all four of our entire team plays Union Arena, so it has been our favorite. And then, yeah, I'm just here for a nice, healthy discussion. And also, if you don't know me, I'm two-time regional topper. But yes, thank you, and I'm excited to have this conversation.
Yeah, and not gonna leave out the fact that you're also one of the commentators for Bandai for
Yes.
the
Oh,
national
yeah.
stage.
Just casually.
Yeah, let's just let us not talk about that or anything. But yes, yeah, and that was a great job, Dave. Great job on that.
No.
Wobble, you're up next.
You guys might have seen me before once or twice. WabbleTCG, Union Arena's literally the first card game I've ever like actually gone out and played locally and
Nice.
stuff. I love anime. I've always loved anime since I was like 5. So once I saw this card game was coming out, I don't know. I had an itch to start posting content on it. That's another thing. I feel like Bandai could just do just a little bit more marketing for the card game. That was the sole inspiration for the channel. Like, listen, someone's got to put the word out for this card game. No one's talking about it, so let's do it. But yeah, I love Union Arena. I love every anime. They know how to target our wallets. I'll say that because they keep dropping peak.
Yes, it's a beautiful and sad, but beautiful thing.
Yes, it's bittersweet, but I'll take it. I'll take bittersweet.
All right, and next up we got Anto from Draw 3 and Lullaby Anto.
Yo, guys. Some of you may know me as Lullaby Anto. Part of D3. We are currently, I don't know if we're the biggest now, but one of the bigger online Discord communities for professional players that do want to take the game a little more serious. We have a lot of regional toppers and winners that practice in the Discord. So if you guys are interested, hop on over to the D3 Discord. But also, I like to consider myself a grandfather of UA when it comes to content. I've been here since the super pre-release, since the very beginning. I may be very flippant with content, but life happens, and I'm super excited to get into this conversation with my brethren.
Oh, absolutely.
They
And-
also have one of the best UA teams last season. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, Haven's coming for you guys. Oh, okay. But I also want to put in, Anto, you were the first UA content creator I followed, and like you were the reason I started making content for this game. I was like, shit, I want more good shit. Like just
Nice.
That's love. That's love. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
But I told you before, I discovered you through your music. That stuff's awesome. But yeah, anyways, last but certainly not least, Jimy from Card Nerds.
Hi, I'm Jimy. I am Card Nerds. I love this game. I've been primarily a TCG player for the past 15 years. I played a different game, and I just recently switched to Union Arena, and I fell in love with it. And I used to do content for the other game, and now I was like, this needs content because I can't find any like I was used to for so many years. And I was like, well, if I can't find it, I might as well make it myself. So that's why we're here.
Seems like a recurring theme with many of us. Now that everyone's introduced themselves. Oh, wait, me. You're on my channel, but hi, Prody, I'm Joey. I'm a full-time professional dungeon master who likes to play silly card games all the time. Me talks good sometimes. That's pretty much all I have. But yeah, now that everyone's introduced, let's get into the topic of conversation. So, on the screen, you guys can't see it, but the live stream can. I am currently showing off the various different meta pie charts that we've had for season 1, as well as the breakdown of all of the decks that we have with them. This is something that is important to look at while we are giving any amount of criticism towards the state of the game, the state of play, all of that stuff. So one thing that I'm sure everybody is aware of, when we first started, the first few events that we had was a fairly diverse meta. We had a total of 14 different decks at Dallas within the top 32. And that was across 7 different IPs, which was a fantastic thing for anything that any card game that is out there. It is very rare that you will see that level of diverse gameplay and mechanics that everybody had access to, but it was also much earlier on into the history of UA. Later on, though, the pie chart kept getting a little smaller and smaller and smaller, where we would eventually enter into what is known as the Kenshin metas, where over 50% of the format was just red Kenshin, and then it would change to just being 75% of the format Kenshin as a total, and so on and so forth, until we have reached the Evangelion status for all of that. So not saying that the meta is unhealthy. I think a lot of people in chat would actually disagree that the meta is quite healthy, but I would like to first start with everybody. How do you feel about the meta? Do you think that it is healthy? Do you think that it's not healthy? Can you explain a little bit why?
Go
I
first.
here I
Go
feel
ahead.
like the meta. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like the meta is currently shifting. So obviously Kenshin I think is undoubtedly disgusting and was disgusting on release because it was what 2 months old in Japan. Meanwhile, compared, we got AOT a few months before and it was a year or two old. So like there was obviously a clear difference there. So we were clearly in this time frame when the game released where we were getting a bunch of IPs and sets from a year, maybe 2 years old. So compared to the brand new sets dropping, it's really hard to compare because obviously they're going to be really good and top tier in Japan and whatnot. So they're going to be good when they drop here. Essentially, what I'm seeing is a lot of new sets on the horizon: Kagurabachi, Solo Leveling, a whole bunch of brand new IPs that aren't super old in Japan. I'm curious if in a year or so, throughout the year, we'll see sort of balancing with it all, Evangelion and Kenshin and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Two disagrees.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. I just don't think that the meta is going to balance out.
Like you think
we go
Kenshin's
with
going to
some of
stay
this.
cooking?
No, not Kenshin. I think Spear's going to stay cooking.
Yeah.
I think Spear is going to stay cooking. And I guess that leads me to my first pushback when it comes to the decision with the level 0 judge and what cards they're choosing to ban
Mm-hmm.
when
That's true.
bringing it over here. And even in that itself, it's its own continued discussion because I understand that it's not going to be perfect. It's hard to balance out the power level that we see in Japan while also making the meta over here healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going off of what I've seen from the IPs and what I know about some of the IPs, I do think that it will just come down to pilot diff when it comes to like these high performing levels. Because like we are going to get Sakamoto Days. Yellow Sakamoto Days is an extremely strong deck, but it's also very pilot dependent, right?
Yeah.
But we have seen both in Thailand, in Japan, in these international regions that they won their regional qualifier to make it to the Japan finals, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a balancing act that I think will become easier the more IPs we get. And I think that's the main thing that I'm excited about with this year coming because we have a great line.
Real quick, that is a great thing you pointed out that I definitely noticed in Evangelion and definitely in like songs, for example. These are pilot dependent decks. While
Yes.
Kenshin and Saito are fantastic, those are great decks to just show somebody who's never seen Union Arena and they'll pick them up. But like, man, you have to make some very important decisions with a lot of these new decks. That's very, very true.
Yeah, that's all really good points. Jimmy, you got something for us?
As far as it being healthy, I think it's tough to say because it's in one. It's like it's healthy because you can play different decks, but they're the same IP. So is that truly healthy?
Yeah.
I would say no, just because I don't want to be having to play the new set or I can't really play anything else. I don't want to be limited in that way. And like I said, there is a couple different decks so that you could play, but they're all EVA. So it's such a weird dynamic. And for me, healthiness is just being able to pick up different decks and play them. And I guess you can. So I'm like I'm still on the fence whether it's healthy per se.
Very fair. Very fair. And for you, Div?
So before I start talking about the meta, one of the things I wanted to say was all of the top 16 decks that came out of Nats, all were different they were not the same 50 cards. Some had a spicy tech, that is not common. Like in the past regionals and stuff, we've seen same list, one card off for that's it. But no, all of the spears were different. All of the Kenshins were I actually two Kenshins were kind of mirror, but the other Kenshins were different, right?
Well,
So
and that's because you can
if
only
you-
do so much, right?
yes. But if you look at it that way, yes, there is a little bit of variation. How it is only two IPs right now in the meta. Yes, it does feel like it's overlocked, but there were so many players who did not play Mina, did not
Mhm.
practice. I don't think there was enough time to practice Song, because Song is very pilot dependent. If you
Incredibly.
know a good
Yep.
Song player, yeah, you could run any deck and it'd be very hard for you to come back from, right? So I think like there it is kind of like a square meta right now is what I think. But with solo leveling coming out, it's going to be global release, right? No one knows what Japan's not getting it, we're getting it, right? So no one knows how it's going to play out in the meta. And to, I think Wobble, you said it, to the game, I think come September, I think the game is going to be vastly different
Mhm.
than what it is right now, because one, even though Kenshin is a good deck, everyone's going to know how to play against it, so it's going to dwindle down in numbers, right? Even though it's an easy deck to play, a lot already in this Nats, you've kind of started to see how players are evolving to face Kenshin, right? I mean, look at the finals. The spear had it, right? It was just hitting the
Yeah,
special and then
Mhm.
bricking at the end kind of like made it like Kenshin winning. But again, Kenshin is going to slowly dwindle. And to speak on Japan's part, right? R- Blue Code Geass or Rose, still a
yeah,
very good deck.
the full bout.
Still a very good deck.
I'm fearful
But
of that.
but the reason why it's not being played that much in Japan anymore is because everyone knows how to play against it, right?
Mm.
So there is going to be a time, and again, I'm not I'm not saying that this might be a thing, but there will be a time where people are going to know how to combat a deck, how to play against a deck, how to build against a deck, and then meta will evolve. Like already we are way better than Renji Rush and Sukuna meta,
Yes,
right? We
Sukuna's
yes.
have at least
unplayable in
more
this meta.
variety,
I love
right?
it.
We at least right. So I think the meta is good. Is how do I put this? The meta is good in the sense it's a healthy boy, but it needs to start weightlifting and grow muscles, and that's when it'll become healthy. In that
That's
analogy, if you
Nice.
want to
I
put
like it.
that is fair.
You know,
Yep.
one thing that I will also add is when it comes to competitive play and things like this, a lot of people are sheep, respectfully, and are going to hive mind and just focus on the new shiny
Oh
toy.
yeah.
You know, one thing that we do pride ourselves in D3 and just in the Discord, not just as a team, but in the Discord is go back to those old decks. Look at those old decks, revisit them, see if something was missed that Japan missed, and see how we can utilize it for the current situation. We revisited Blue Bleach, and we found that Blue Bleach in the spear was very strong.
Kirito or Mayuri?
Not Myri.
Hey, you're laughing,
ready
but
for a
what he's
shocker.
saying, I've been testing Mayuri into our best decks, and it is cooking.
Mayori is great. You know, not Mayori, but like being able to bounce and control, right? We've tested some scary stuff with blue SAO that I will never leak to the public. Because that is war crimes, right?
What hybrid?
You know, and
it's the ALO
Bambi,
crew, bro.
Bambi, for example, Bambi.
Yeah, he's the
right?
biggest example.
We
Yeah,
saw
Jason.
Bambi show out, right? And
That's
Bambi
pilot
being
dependent,
able
though.
to create a hole consistently in Spear's board just by recurring that resting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it also comes down to, like you said, the infancy of North America. Like a lot of us are still growing as players. A lot of this is our first TCG, bro. It's my first competitive TCG, you
Mhm.
know? So that being said, I think some people are still scared to experiment, to play Dark Triad, to play the truth, to play the
Oh, God.
gospel.
Dark Triad. What is that?
But Japan says
See,
Roy
I was
Mustang
gonna-
is tier 4. We can't play that, right?
Oh
See,
my
I was
gosh.
gonna say I disagree with your Bambi point, but now I have 2 points to disagree about.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Oh boy.
number one, Bambi is very pilot dependent. Like I'll tell you that
Yes,
right now.
100%.
The person lives and breathes Bambi. It's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And again, like it's like someone who lives and breathes Toto. They will know how to play every line when it comes to Toto, right?
I see you throwing
So,
yourself a bone with that
it's-
Toto line.
Did I say my name? No, I didn't say my name.
We
Right?
know though, but you
What'd you
are.
place with again?
I didn't play. I had other important things to do.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Dark Triad. In this meta, it's probably not a meta deck, right? It's the thing about Union Arena I've noticed, and we can kind of move on from the meta point, is
Mhm.
if the deck is too gimmicky, it's very pilot dependent.
Yeah.
Right? So Bambi,
Meta
Dark
call.
Triad, Red Eva. Red Eva is a little gimmicky because you gotta keep making sure raise when you
pieces.
can play when you can play your 4-2 Shinji on top for free, because that's the best way to play it out, right? So it's very, very, very gimmicky, right? So any deck that is gimmicky is very pilot dependent.
Mhm.
But having said that, looking at the chat who are saying that the meta is going to evolve overall throughout the game, yes, I hope it does, because if it doesn't, then we might be in trouble.
It will evolve, bro. It will evolve.
I agree. With that point, am I the only person here who said that I don't think the meta is like super duper healthy?
I think so.
I am cool. That's awesome.
Jimmy,
I
Jimmy
think
said that.
Jimmy,
too.
I think
Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not alone. Okay, that's fine. All
It
right.
just feels bad, like having all these
Yes.
decks that you feel like you can't touch. Because I tested multiple decks. I have tons of decks, and I
Yeah.
tested them all against Eva, and you're
There's
just
no denying it. Yeah.
so far behind.
Yeah,
and
yeah, bro.
You're just
So-
fighting
I'm a-
for your life.
I'm a
while they're just
draw.
throwing cards
One-
out.
I'm a special. I'm a draw. I'm a pop this. I'm a draw. Play.
Yeah.
Pop this. Draw. Play. I'm a rate a spear. Draw.
So,
Like them just dropping the spears, playing, drawing, dropping another 4K. They're having 3 4K plus
I
attacks
like searching out my specials with the
in
Booger. That's
one
my
play.
favorite part.
It's just I can't deal with it with my rogue deck.
Jimmy, one thing I do want to ask though: are you a fan of Kenshin or Eva as IPs?
As IPs, what do you mean by
Like, do you like the
game style?
anime? Do you like the animes?
Oh, so one thing about me is I'm not big on animes. Like I said, I'm more of a card player than I'm.
That's legit.
I love that. I love
anime
that.
That's great.
person. The only
That's crazy.
animes I know is Attack on Titan, My Hero, and Full Metal. That's the only ones
Got
I've
volume
watched.
two.
So
Those are
Yeah,
good
that shows
ones.
how
I'm excited for
awesome
volume
UA is.
two.
Those
I
are
love
some
that.
great, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like how awesome the gameplay is of it.
Mhm.
So for me, this may get some flack from some of you guys. I don't really care that much. I find Kenshin to be one of the most boring animes I tried to watch in the past decade.
Me too. Oh
I
my
It
haven't
was
gosh.
watched it.
so boring to me. I think if
I
I
don't wanna
grew
say
up
that,
watching
but-
it, I would have enjoyed it very,
Did
very
you watch
much.
the remake?
No, I went back to the OG because everyone told me
Okay.
not to watch the remake. So I went back to the OG and I was like,
Yeah.
this didn't age well. I don't like it.
It's the way he
Um,
talks for me.
And mecha animes in general bore me to tears.
I agree with that. I agree
Ray
with that.
as a character, I got through all of Evangelion. I actually watched it, but I'm not a fan of Ray. I'm only a fan of Ray. All the other characters, I was like, Shinji's just another whiny little
Did you-
bitch boy.
Did you watch
I
the
don't care.
movies?
Oh yeah. I've seen
Okay,
all of it.
okay.
I grew
You
up on
committed.
Evangelion. Like
Okay.
I finished it. I liked it enough. But because I haven't had a connection to these meta decks, it has felt bad for me to try to play competitively because I grew up playing Magic very competitively for that. I went to RCQs, I went to PTQs, like I did all of that stuff. And because this is a game that is seeded in the IPs are locked, you have to play your IP that you enjoy. Or you can be really competitive like Jimmy and just like the mechanics of the game. But because it is IP dependent, if I don't have a connection to the characters or IPs, I'm discouraged from trying to play the decks because I'm like, well, that makes me a fake fan, which is just my stupid logic. But I feel like there's a large portion of the community as a whole who may also share in that, where like, there's no credit to Hunter x Hunter fans. I'm sorry, I love Hunter x Hunter. We don't get any love. This game hates us.
Not
but
yet.
if you can't pick up any deck that is like good, in previous statuses and bring it in, and you're like, wow, this mecha just kicked my ass, and this dude with a sword that is backwards just decided I can't block out of life. Okay, and it's a feel bad component to it, to me personally, and that's one thing I think like the game could potentially work on, is making small minute changes in order to allow these weaker decks to be at least playable, right?
I don't know. I think to like, because again, I do know you have other topics.
Sure.
I think that that's not quite fair, because at the end of the day, it is a game, right? We are going to have decks that just get aged out. You know, other games have rotation, right? There are just going to be better decks. There are going to just be better mechanics. And UA is in a weird position where I think it's doing, I don't want to say first of its kind, right? Because we have Weiss Schwartz, we've had other games that do this IP thing, right?
First one
But
doing it
that
right.
is also that's also the like the catch-22 with making IPs as decks, you know. You also have to adhere to what is going on culturally, right? You know, it's no surprise that Demon Slayer, like the timing of getting Volume 2 lined up with the movie, it's no surprise that some of these IPs are lining up with other things that are happening.
Oh yeah,
in the real world. And you know, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. You know, like using Magic, I am a Minioplasm player. I love Minioplasm, right?
Mhm.
No one plays Minioplasm anymore. You know, that's legacy deck. You know, it's gonna happen.
Card game still? Sorry, I don't know what that is.
it's a EDH commander
Fair,
for
fair,
Magic
fair.
the Gathering. But that's my point, right? It's gonna happen. And there's only so much you can do, but to give Bandai even more support, like they're putting out Volume 3 for Bleach, the first
Yes,
Volume 3,
yes,
right?
yes.
So it's just all about timing, and I do think that UA has done a great job of bringing people who don't watch anime into the game and going to watch some of these shows. You know, I grew up watching a lot of anime, but there are some classics that I didn't watch growing up, and I do revisit them because I do want to find that connection, like you said, right?
Yeah.
I do want to see if there's something there that will help entice
AOT
me
for
to
me.
better appreciate it. Yeah.
I only watched AOT because UA. Like, I refused to watch it outside of that.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Full Metal Alchemist. The only reason why I watched it is because I saw the flavor text on the cards, what they did, and the art, and I was like, this is an interesting story, and I watched it because of the game. So
Yeah.
I think for me, to do a little pushback on Lullaby here, so I disagree a little bit, because I don't want the IPs to get pushed out, because a lot of people come into this game because of the IPs.
Yes.
So if those IPs if they're not playable at all, like Eva making these decks unplayable, and these people that were playing Full Metal or were playing whatever IP they like and can't play it anymore, it makes them not stay. And that's what I worry about when the power creep is just this big. Because when Roy Mustang came out, it was like, it's the best deck, it's so strong, but you can play other IPs into it and you get lucky and do well, but you can't do that with Eva. Eva just will steamroll you. You have to, unless you have 4 specials in life. So I feel like it's a little bit, yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And
For us casuals.
yeah, I was gonna say I at the end of the day, you know, it's hard to adhere to both competitive and casual play, but
it is.
that does make sense. I mean,
I think just bring the power level up slowly, and not, this is just such a big gap, you know?
So
yeah,
There's binder cards everywhere.
I know.
love
Everyone gets a binder.
I love
set.
binder card system. I know a lot of people didn't like. I
poor.
enjoyed it so much. That's
I'm
fair.
poor.
Listen, if you didn't live across the entire world, I would hook you. But that is one thing I do want to touch on a little bit, because, like you said, it is difficult to appease the casuals and to appease the competitive sweats. But that is something that we can potentially discuss. If Bandai could make changes for this coming season to the way they roll things out, to how they handle cards, we're aware that they've already had a discussion about like potentially keeping an eye on the Kenshin from back before Dallas, I believe it was. And like they've made us aware, like they're looking at it and they might take actions against decks that need it. what are some actions you guys would like to see in order to enhance the experience for all the players in the game? And it doesn't even have to be actions against things, just actions for other things, like anything you guys want.
So one thing I'll definitely say is the one thing that UA is very lucky to have is, again, an executive producer who actually listens to the community.
Yes.
Like, you have not seen any. I was at Cardfest and I haven't seen any other executive producer for a card game for others like Gundam, One Piece, or Digimon. Literally stay where the players are playing throughout the entire LCQ and Nats. Like,
That's amazing.
Akari was walking around, talking to people, and very open to having conversations. I've heard people asking her questions about, oh, can we get some video game IPs in here? Or, oh, can we get Hunter x Hunter Volume 3? Like,
Haikyuu.
a bunch of stuff. Yes, Haikyuu. Everyone
We're
wants
getting that.
Haikyuu.
Yes.
We're getting it.
For sure. After like the top 2 players of the tournament
out of
asking
3?
for it, we're probably gonna get it.
I'm down. Give me my volleyball.
Yes, I'm watching it.
Personally, for me, one of the things, and if Akari is listening, one of the things I really think there should be is more pricing for their online battles.
Yes.
So they're starting off with their online battles, which is amazing, right? One Piece had that, and One Piece had serialized cards as pricing, right? So
Wow.
that was pretty cool, right? So having a better pricing structure for their online battles would have more people who don't have the ability to travel a lot, or might have circumstances that don't allow them to travel to different places, right? Like, for me, it's very tough to travel to the States all the time, right? And Canada gets like one regional a year. So every time I go to the US, it's so expensive, right? So I have to like budget. So it's the same thing for other people, I'm sure. That's one. And then number 2 is you gotta increase the cap. Increase the cap for the regionals. We're already seeing the regional caps increase from 256 to 384 now.
Nice.
I think if you open it up to 512, you will hit close to 500 people, no problem. With the game growing at an insane rate, where creators from other TCGs are seeing Tokyo Ghoul, Solo Leveling, Chainsaw Man being advertised, I think this is the perfect opportunity for Union Arena and Bandai to basically be like, listen, this is what we do best. We take your favorite anime, we make the best looking cards, not the commons, but the 2 stars and 3 stars.
Hagurabachi looks
these?
amazing. Just saying.
I know. You want these? Come over. We got
Earn
you.
it.
Like, this is the time to take all of those big creators, big players, other competitive players who are doing well in other card games to jump into Union Arena and grow the scene more. And how is that going to happen? By ensuring that when people go to buy regional tickets, they're not sold out. And how is that going to happen? By doing a better pricing structure. That's what I would say would be a good suggestion.
And they're really, really cooking. Well, they were cooking until I read the pricing for offering the top 32 individual deck pricing, right? And that can go to 32 different players if they were all running different decks. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Dude, like, so if that was, I'm just
It's
saying,
cool.
if that was, so if the pricing was really solid, I can't imagine what that it would end up looking like.
It made me want to play FMA, but I'm not going to because it's
I
just
know
the wrong choice.
I would be
can't.
playing Kaiju if it was just a little bit better pricing.
Can't play that into EVA. Period.
I know.
Like, you
I
can't.
trust me. That I also realized that.
The concept is there, it's just
but-
not applicable.
So that they can build on that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Anto, you look like you have something you want to say.
Well, for me personally, I think just because I'm aware, and I've talked to some Bandai people, right, and I'm aware that they do listen to our feedback and have listened to some of my criticism. I will say currently, I'm just going to sit back and watch what happens this year, because everything that I've complained about, that I suggested that I wanted to change, is currently in motion. I was a huge advocate for wanting rare battles to be stripped back and be more selective. That way the pricing became more impactful, right? At the beginning of the game, you could go to ran.
I have binders.
You can go to a random bum tuck, show up. There's 3 people there. Rinse them, get your winner card, and like
Make
there
a
was
weekend.
no value in it, right?
Yeah.
But we are currently seeing, and a lot of this is thanks to the Poke Bros. Hi, Poke Bros. Hi, guys. Welcome to Bandai.
Thanks for doing one good thing for us.
Thanks for buying out all the winner cards, right? But a lot of that also has to do with the continued success of One Piece. As long as One Piece continues to win, we'll see the trickle effect. And I think that seeing what they're doing with the championship cards, giving them color to make them more unique. That was another critique of mine. I'm like, yo, why am I going to regionals? I'm winning regionals or XYZ, and the pricing is the same as the rare battles.
Yeah, same
That
art.
it doesn't feel unique.
No.
It doesn't feel original, blah, 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 right? They instantly took that feedback, and we're starting to see those changes. So I just know that from working that was terrible. Hey, bro, go drive that hour, bro. I do not care. I do
No,
not care.
I'm
Go
with
drive
you.
that hour. But
Give the cards value. I'm with you. Like that.
I
There's
do-
people motivated by that.
yeah, I do think that a lot of it is baby steps because the international market is different than the American market. We are a lot more competitive. We do care about these things, right? But handling a game where you have to have contracts for these IPs, certain arts and stuff like that have to be okay before you can utilize it. All these things. There's so much back end, when it comes to Union Arena, just in general, that it takes time. And I will say that us as players and as a community need to be patient because they are listening, they are adding those changes, and we are seeing it happen in real time. I just think that as we watch what happens over this year, we can start to be a little more critical. But I do agree, the online pricing could have been better right off the gate. But I think they just want to dip their toes in and just see, is there is there an audience for online?
And real quick, I just wanted to say you're 100% right. Things are emotion. So something I've been thinking about for a little while now, and who knows the truth behind the scenes. When they first dropped Union Arena, I don't know what their plans were. I don't know how high hopes they had for the card game. I kept hearing that. when they dropped it, they didn't even think it was going to be competitive at all, right? Like they 100% expected
The White
it to be
Shorts
super...
killer.
Yeah, right. I don't know what they thought, but I think overall what I'm trying to say is I think Union Arena got way bigger than they ever expected it to be in a good way. It got really successful and it's doing way better than they thought. And it's going to be really interesting to see like AOT Volume 2's and Slime, I guess, and if we do get My Hero, are like the last like ancient sets that we're going to be getting, right? Like starting, if you want to just jump to 2027 just to be safe, like there's not going to be any old IPs to get anymore. We're going to be in a whole new era of Union Arena where like most of the sets, if not all of them, are brand new Volume 3s, binders, and I wonder if they'll just sync us with Japan at that point nearly, But yeah, like you said, Anto, this is a whole new year for Union Arena. We need to be patient because, yeah, this is a very, very different time for it in a good way.
Yeah, Wobble. And to answer your question, what they were thinking and what it is now, when Union Arena launched, a lot of the IPs were, people watch this anime in America, so let's release it. Now it's more of a, this is a meta deck in Japan, so meta deck here.
Facts.
So that answers
makes
the
sense. That
question
makes
of
sense.
what they were thinking and what it is now.
And then to their surprise, I don't know how many people out there are like me, but it seems like it's a very common theme. Kagurabachi's coming out. I've only read Naruto 20 years ago. I'm on chapter 70 of Kagurabachi right now. I'm just because it's dropping.
It's nice. It's nice. It's good.
So good. So that's just an example. Like obviously I've been watching the animes. It got me to read my first manga in 20 years. Like this is like awesome. So yeah, big things there.
Yeah, I like that. Jimmy, you look like you got something on it.
Yeah, so as far as pricing goes, I'm actually hot take here. I'm actually content with the pricing.
Yeah,
I know it's, but I think I come from Yu-Gi-Oh, which has no
Oh.
pricing.
And
fair.
you
He's
want
like,
this
have you
fancy
guys seen
poster?
other card games?
Like,
I get stuff. Like,
okay,
it's so,
that's fair.
like,
It is better than Yu-Gi-Oh. That's fair.
in Yu-Gi-Oh, I won a regional. I got a
Got an
mat
air
and a
fryer.
deck box
Wow.
for winning a regional.
Oh man.
And it's like, for me, the game is more about like how I would fix something would be giving the IPs. Like I said, I'm not big on IPs because I don't watch them a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it did get people in here. So for me, it'd be dropping exclusives for us that are not in Japan, just so the decks that are weak can catch up a little bit. So it just like give every deck a fake zero, give every deck, you know, the new the decks that suck that are way behind, then you don't have to give that to Eva because we already know that's going to be good. But if you give it to some like green Asuna with the what is it? I love that deck, the green Sword Art Online.
Oh, ALO.
What is it called?
ALO or Xenon?
No, it's
No, the green.
He
the
said
green,
Asuna.
Are you
So
sniping?
he's talking about the
No,
Yuki's in
Oh,
sideline.
Yuki, yeah, like
oh,
give
okay.
like
The
give
Yuki
Yuki
deck,
like
Yeah.
like a nice zero with an active trigger, like just simple things. It doesn't have to be over the top,
Mother Rosario,
like
yeah.
crazy broken, but just give them a little more consistency to be able to at least even play it for fun. Like right now, I don't even feel like I can play those for fun in locals because you're just gonna get steamrolled. So if you give it a little power to catch up and some exclusive cards in NA, then maybe people would be more inclined to play.
Yeah,
Like they-
Toto's one of the best examples of, and it was a volume 2, but man, just like what was it, 5 to 8 cards or whatever, one of the best decks after it being unplayable. So they can do a lot.
That's a
Kamaru?
perfect example,
Yay.
but it's not tier 0. It's not tier. It's
Yeah.
not
No,
even
no, I
tier
just
1
mean
right
at the
now.
time that we got it. Yeah, but
No,
okay,
right,
yeah.
That was
and it was-
perfect.
yeah,
It was balanced. It
Yeah,
was good in our meta. It was
and that's what I would want every deck to like experience, or
That'd be
every
sick.
IP at least to experience. Just because, like I said, for my experience, I know people get into the game because of the IPs. Like I said, I'm not big into it, but I think that'd be a smart business move.
I swore off TCGs after losing thousands and thousands of dollars of value from Magic because of their reprinting cycle, and just
I've heard of that.
I walked away fine, but like the value of my collection diminished from them printing one like cycle of cards. And after that, I swore off TCGs as a whole. My roommate told me, "Hey, you want to try Union Arena? You're an anime nerd like me." I'm like, "Okay, let's look at it, but I'm probably not going to play it." He's like, "No, they have Yu Yu Hakusho." And immediately I said, "Fuck everything. I'm diving headfirst into this game. It has competent gameplay and mechanics and has Yu Yu Hakusho." And there's so many people like me that's what got them into this game. That what started them off. So like, I agree. If we can have more examples in the future. Hey, Damos, how you doing? If we can have more examples in the future of them buffing things, like they tried for Hunter x Hunter, they screwed up by releasing Hunter x Hunter Volume 2 simultaneously with Kenshin.
And
that was
so
a
late,
huge
man.
mistake. But if they do things like that for future Volume 2s, that could honestly make or break a lot of these sets to like push them to be more competitive. So I like that, like them buffing up the things with alternative prints, maybe little minor adjustments. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It was
you
us
guys
not knowing
noticed.
exactly what we're getting
Yeah.
from Japan over here.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but most of Volume 2s now are in the middle of the month, and most of the big IPs are at the end of the month. Look at the AOT release, look at the Inuyasha release. They're staggering them in a way where they're at least a 2-week gap so that they're not overshadowed, because they don't want the same thing that happened to SAO.
Yeah.
SAO is the biggest one. You have 2 very highly competitive decks
Yeah.
that
Oh,
got
yeah.
overshadowed, right? I still think on a good day, Xenon
Song
beats
Song
Sphere.
did not get overshadowed,
But-
bro. Song rightfully got put to bed because Kenshin just hard.
Yeah, Kenshin exists.
Yeah. Xenon, there were some Xenons there. I do agree with you. I think Xenon kind of got overlooked a bit, but there were some Xenon players at Nats and they were performing.
At the LCQ, there was a couple of them that made it and then came over. But then as soon as you break into the top 32, no. But yeah, Div, what were you saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I agree with like, and I agree with Anto. Like, the next year is gonna be one of the most next year, let's just say until September, is going to be the most revolutionary time for Union Arena. I mean, we have 2 waves of championships compared to last year when we were begging for
Yeah.
regionals, right? So they heard us and they were like, you know what? You guys want more competitions? There you go. We're going to give you 2 waves worth of stuff,
Yeah.
right? So they're definitely listening to us. They're definitely working on things. And I always say this, right? Union Arena is to play your favorite IP, but competitively, you will have to either practice your favorite IP super well, or you don't have to be into meta. Like
Yeah.
there are good examples of people who have very consistently top places, right? Without using a meta deck, right? So you don't have to. But again, Bandai's listening. We're gonna have a lot more fun next year, and I just honestly cannot wait. And I'm so glad I got into this game. But yeah,
No, I like a lot of that. Me personally, I because I do D&D for a living. Many of you, like, I'm sure you guys have at least seen D&D at this point in your lives or know anything about it. As the dungeon master, my responsibility is balance and facilitating a good experience for everybody who plays. That is my responsibility. If you go into an encounter, I need to make sure that it is balanced for everybody, tastes and things like that. So when I look at these things, I look at it from that lens specifically, where I want there to be a better experience, and I am a-okay with one person being the forefront, the main character, the main IP, the main deck, but I want everyone to be able to play. The one thing that personally I was looking at that I would like to see in the game, if Bandai, you are listening, please do not ban cards. That most of the time does absolutely nothing or neuters the deck. I hate bans. If you're going to make any meaningful impact to many of decks, I think you should probably look at an errata on certain cards. In order to lower their power level, if you're going to plan on making changes. I'm not saying you have to make any changes to anything. The meta is fairly good. It's fairly diverse. It's 2 IPs, but we're getting things in the future that are looking good. But if they are looking at making any of those changes, personally, I think erratas could help fix this format so much more than banning a card and potentially neutering a deck altogether, right?
Are you putting bans on the say like bans and restrictions? Is that
Yeah.
equivalent?
You can
Okay,
only
okay,
play
just
one
check.
of this card, whatever, and you
Oh,
can't play these
one
two
or
cards together.
two.
I don't
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
okay,
Like
fair.
I would rather everybody get to play with their cards, but if you're going to a competitive scene, you know, like, hey, that Kenshin that says raid, that starter deck one, it's actually a get triggered now. It's errated. And then give us a printing cycle where we can get a prettier version of it with it, and you can still make money off us. I'll
I,
give you money.
I think that's
Fair.
hard to do
Yeah.
purely because Bandai eventually wants America
Can you
to
move the mic a
partake.
little closer? You're a little.
I think that's extremely hard to do purely just because Bandai eventually wants America to participate in the World Championships. I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure if you know, David, but I'm trying to remember if we're allowed to compete this year or if once
We are
again
not.
we'll just be going as a guest, right?
Yeah.
So
exhibition
I
match.
yeah, just an exhibition match, right? So the reason for not eroding these, and you do see them bring some cards back eventually, is again the decks that are in JP do some crazy stuff, bro. Like green
Oh, yeah.
common riders, egregious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually they do want us competing with them. They do want us to be on a world stage just like One Piece, just like Gundam, right? But again, I do think that, like you guys said earlier, the initial approach to UA was more of a side game. They weren't they're probably surprised by how big it got, right? So
Right.
now they're in a weird situation where they have to um, rush out some of these sets to help get us caught up, but at the same time they also have to deal with contracts, licensing, and things like that. So if we plan to just make like a North America, like I guess bracket, like Canada, Mexico, the UK, like an English, I guess, representing side, then I could get on board with the whole errata thing, because then it just doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in Japan, China, and Thailand, all those that side. But if they do plan to catch us up, I do think like eroding these cards would be hard. It's just more so, I love our level 0 judge. I think it's just more so the game's new, and going off of other TCG experiences that the judges have, banning certain cards probably makes sense to them, but it's a different type of game. It's new things. So they're still learning, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have hit yellow girls. Maybe we shouldn't have hit Willie.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have hit Spear. Like, it's hard. It's hard to know. It is hard to know.
And and for that, I agree with or I disagree with Joey in the sense of you're saying to not ban cards. I think it's a great approach because otherwise, like Willie, for example, would be running wild right now, as well as Yellow Eva more than it already is. And Spears would be how it is right now. If Spears was the card that got a little bit hit, then we would see more of a lower power level. And Yellow Eva and I was playing Yellow Eva for months before it released. And that's the deck that I was going to play for the regional or for the LCQ. And I had to pivot because of the ban. So I do think that it made it weaker, but it's still a top 3, top 4 deck. So it's and the power level is still way overpowering the older decks. So if they did the same thing to Spears to that level, I think it would have been great because these decks would still be tier 1. It would just be a little bit less consistent or a little bit less powerful. Because otherwise, if you released Yellow Eva with everything, it would have even more representation. If you release Willie with everything, it would have even more representation. So because you release Spears this way, it had so much representation that it was hard to deal with. So I feel like they just didn't do it correctly, but I think that is the right way to do it. And then once you see, okay, these decks, like they did to the Fingers decks, it's like, okay, this deck is no longer a crazy problem that it'd be tier 0. We can unban it. Yeah. But if you throw them all out there and you have to ban it after the fact, I haven't seen them do that. And I mean, they don't do ban lists as far as I know. So
other TCGs have done that a lot, and I hate it.
Yeah. So
I'm like,
if you do that, that's okay too. But I'm like, you have to have a way to be able to hit these cards. And coming from a game that bans way too late, I'd rather not have them at all than wait a year for them to finally hit it when we've been dealing with it for a year.
So I do want to.
Go ahead.
Maybe I didn't outline like how like my magical Christmas land of this happening. To me, like they gave us the decks, they made minor nerfs to it. They go, hey, play with them. Let's see how it goes. Oh, Kenshin has been the best deck in the format for like 5 months. It's won almost everything it's been in. If they are looking at fixing the meta, and the option is ban a card from Kenshin that would nerf it, which could potentially neuter it because it happens all the time in like Magic and other things like that, or errata a card and we just have to know as players. That is what I envision. They decide like, hey guys, now we're changing it so it says this. Yes, it won't say it on the physical card, but it would at least like, it would add in a level of them going, oh, we made a fucky wucky by giving Spear draw a card on the card. So let's just remove that line of text and then see how the deck performs.
Do we have an exact number on how many? I think it's 3, right? That Kenshin has won.
Two.
Kenshin won 3. Saito was the dominant deck in the 1, but it still won.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
that's
there was only 1 in like top 8,
and then Mustang won 2, right?
Yes.
Mustang won 2. Canada and Gen Con.
Yes.
So then the pushback that I'll give you, Joey,
Yeah.
is
Not a pushback, eh? Very Kenshin on theme, eh?
Back to the end.
I'm traumatized.
I think Kenshin would have lost Nats personally. And I think it's purely just because the Spear player kept a greedy hand. And when we get into talks about like bricking and stuff like that, I do think that a lot of the bricking issue is stemming from the players. Just based off of the hands that I see kept, and a lot of people are just greedy with their hands. So I do think that Kenshin is kind of being stifled by Spear a little bit, and I do know that like again, it'll be a while till it gets here, but I know Sakamoto Days is
To play
Yeah.
to play devil's advocate a little bit. Did the guy that kept the hand, was it greedy? Correct me if
Yes,
I'm
I
wrong.
would've
Did he
kept
have
that.
two
Yes.
zeros?
I would have kept that.
He did
It
have
wasn't
2
greedy.
zeros.
One of them was a
but
draw trash, and he obviously had a 3, right?
Yes, he
So
did.
who would
It was
mulligan
not a
2
greedy.
zeros? So what's the problem?
I
The
can't-
mulligan
It's
or the player?
so,
Because
it's
if I
hard to
mulligan
s-
2 zeros, I'm not saying a zero,
And
I
one's a
lose
draw
even worse.
discard. Yeah, that's hard to mulligan.
Well,
Right,
no,
dude?
so
That's not
it's
greedy.
Was he going
it's-
first?
it's hard to explain.
Yes.
Yes, he was going first.
That's tough.
So
AP draw.
I am working on a video about this topic.
Fair.
And
It is a
I'll-
tough
I'll-
topic, yeah.
I'll save it for when I do that. But what I will say is, if you have tested those decks, and it was a huge conversation throughout that whole week within our test group, do you mold this hand? And the consensus was yes. And it was because just knowing the curve, knowing how the deck is, if you keep that 0-0 right there, you are most likely going to end up bricking. And I don't know how to explain it.
No
but
way.
No way.
In my
I
mind,
get-
I'm looking at those 2
disagree.
zeros, and I'm like, hell yeah!
I know
need
you
a
guys
0, I
disagree,
need
Do
a
I-
1
do
or
I-
a
bro,
2.
the
I'm
testing-
No,
golden.
this
That's
is the
great
main
odds.
question. Main question. Do I get to play the game now or risk not playing the game period?
At all. Mhm.
So
That's the main question.
It's a tough decision, bro. But like 2
I don't think it's a
zeros and
tough decision.
I think you
2
keep it.
zeros and
I
a
think you
3,
keep
bro.
that.
Hey,
So that's
Uh,
where
the
I
the
think
fact
you
that he
think
was
about
going
how,
second,
yeah.
the fact that he was going
first.
second too. No,
No,
he was going
first.
second.
He
was
did go
going
first, I believe.
He was going first. He was
was-
going
yeah,
first.
he was first.
Oh, and the second game he went first.
But then you're left with 11 zeros in the deck at a 43, and you have to draw again.
He's left
2
with 10.
more.
I think he ran 12.
Or yeah, so he ran
10 and
he
then
ran
4
12
ones.
and 4
There's-
ones. Okay.
I think there's still.
It's
I
tough.
think, yeah,
I don't think
it's-
I don't think there's a
that's what I'm
wrong. I don't
saying.
think
No,
there's a
no, no,
wrong
no.
answer.
If you're running
Yeah.
14 zeros and 4-1 costs, so 16 zeros and ones, sure, mull that hand. By God,
Bro,
God bless your soul.
If you guys want to
across
know, I
the
remember
lands
his
and
life.
sea,
He would
you
have played
pull-
the game just
it's
fine if he
it's
mulliganed, but it doesn't matter.
It's a tough decision, and this is
Yeah.
why I'm saying like the mulligan conversation is interesting because
Mhm.
again, that whole entire week we pulled up as a team Tuesday. We built the spear deck. We built Tyler's spear deck. The list that as a team we're taking this spear list, right?
Mhm.
As a team, we would draw that hand. We would keep that hand. It was a brick. It got to a point where when we saw that hand, we would mull that hand and you would play the game and proceed the roll. It's a hard conversation.
No,
but
you are
I mean,
correct. I
yeah,
remember
but-
watching his life, and he did have a playable 0, 1, 2, 3 in life. I do remember that. But how are you supposed to know that?
Yeah, but
It's
mathematically,
just
I don't
trust.
think.
Yeah, mathematically,
it's-
but I know,
it's hard, but
It's
like
tough.
I'll use Tyler as an example just because he won the LCQ, right?
Yeah.
He played with that mindset. Blah 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 blah.
Legit vocals for anybody else who doesn't know.
Yeah, legit vocals. Sadly, in Nats, he got rolled in the friendly fire and then rolled by Red Ava just
Joey.
rolled him. But going off of like that understanding and stuff like that, I don't know. It's a tough situation. I do think there is still a brick problem to an extent, but
Yeah.
I will say I do think players add to it. I do think players are, I want to say 40% of the problem.
Mhm.
That's fair.
I think
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
little
it's like
much.
I think it's a 40-60 split, but I do think
I think
players-
it might be maybe it'll roll over to your next point of something that can be changed
yeah.
in
Something
the
you would like to
mulligan
see.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something that I would love to see is the mulligan system be. I think obviously something easy would be keep as many cards as you want and get rid of the rest and draw that many. I think another way that maybe you can dial it down, like the power level, is just you're able to keep your zeros and that's it, so you can play the game. But just the mulligan is the worst part about this game is not playing the game.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I have a very cool thing that Alex or Carry On, who's part of the Haven team,
We love Karen.
came up with, and it's very cool. I don't know which game does it, but essentially, let's say I draw my 7 cards, right? I don't see a 0. I want to mulligan it, right? So I will mulligan this hand, draw my next 7. I still don't see it. Cool. I'm gonna mulligan, but this time I'm drawing 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
If I want to mulligan,
I know
I
what game that. Yeah.
I mulligan again. This time I'm drawing 5. Right? So that's one way that could work. And
Bro,
we've
That's
tested it.
hand fixing. That's hand
No.
fixing though. There's
No,
some
no, no.
nasty stuff you could do.
There is. I know there is, but every time you're drawing, no, but every time you're drawing, you're shuffling and drawing. You're shuffling and drawing, right? So there's not much you can do, but
I will say the one thing I
honestly-
really like about the mulligan in UA is like you don't shuffle. So if you don't see any zeros, that
Right,
means
the
you
chances of you
should
seeing a
see
zero.
it, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're
That's
shuffling
very
every
true.
time, that's gonna be tough.
Randomizing it.
You just keep getting a brick.
I do like the idea. I do like the idea of you can just go -1 card. Back when I tested it, this was before we had higher power level decks that have a lot more draw engines in it. But when I tested it back then, which may not be relevant to now, you cannot possibly win a game if you start with 4 cards in hand.
Yeah.
You can't. But maybe now the power level, like for these newer IPs, you possibly could. So that is a interesting one I'd like to see.
That's a good point, Joey.
Personally, my fix to the mulligan rule, because I debated it a little bit. I don't mind the mulligan. I play 14 zeros and 4 ones. I'm happy.
me
Like I
too,
brick
me too.
1 game every 30 games. I'm good.
10
Like,
and never brick.
I think the last time I bricked, I AP drew and I could play the game.
yeah, and for me, when I looked at like a fix to the mulligan system, when you draw your opening hand, and I tested this a little bit, and it made certain decks like Sukuna way stronger. You can choose to keep up to 3 cards from your opener and pitch the rest and draw from the top directly.
Would it be crazy
As
to
in
like?
sideline or bottom deck them?
You bottom deck them and then pull.
Would it be crazy
then
to like
shuffle and then
take
set life.
3 or like draw your 7, keep 3, for example?
Hmm.
Would it be crazy to draw another 7 and then have to put 3 on the bottom, or would you
No,
have to?
no, that's
That's
gonna make
too
your hand
powerful.
way too powerful.
Okay.
Bro,
It
I'm-
does. It does.
Imagine a spear player going,
Oh, I'll
I'm gonna
keep,
keep,
I'm gonna keep this wonder, and I'm gonna keep this. Oh my
Yeah,
I'm gonna
goodness.
keep these 3
I
cards.
think the
Love
best
it.
way to keep cards is you have to keep a 0, because why
Yeah,
else are
I
you
think
desperately
only keeping
mulliganing,
zeros
right?
might be a fair.
Well, then you,
And
you
there's-
reveal your
there's a-
hand.
There's a
Then you
science
reveal
to
your
it.
hand, right?
Gosh, but
Then
I'll
you're
say this:
revealing
the
your hand.
Kagurabachi has
Matt.
some really good zeros. But anyway,
I'm saving
yes,
that.
yes.
I brought it up a little bit, but I'm saving that for the video. Chill.
yeah,
But
Okay.
I will say
You don't want to
there
use it in
is-
this video?
spoilers.
there is
Wow.
no, it's because it's an in-depth topic. But
He's
I
gonna
will
blow your
bring it
mind.
up.
I'm ready for it.
I will bring it up. We do so in D3. We have something that we utilize called.
I have a
Shasta.
I have a counter. How many times he said in D3, by the way? I have a counter.
All right, let's keep it going. Let us know if you
Shot.
Let us know if
You
you
gotta take a shot every time you say.
ND3.
I can't
It's
talk about the
nine.
team,
It's already
bro.
at 9.
No, no,
It's
no.
already
Just
at
plug
9
in the
right now.
squad, bro. Just
I
fucking
know,
plug
I'm
in the
literally
squad.
about
It's
to
at
put it
9.
out to the public.
at
Like
9.
this
It's at
isn't even
9
being
right
gate
now.
kept anymore. I'm working on the video to put it out to the public, bro. What are you talking about?
Nah.
In D3, we utilize something called the Shasta method. It is very simple, but it's just a process of understanding how and when to properly mulligan your hand, why you would mulligan your hand, and sometimes basically it's just like if you're going first and you draw the 2 zeros, right? And you have the 3 drop in your hand, instead of playing your 0 right then and there, you're just going to take the AP draw.
Yes.
Because at the beginning of the game, both going first or second, those 2 first action points, if you're playing at that high level, isn't going to set you back at all. As long as you understand how to properly rotate up, the fundamentals of blocking, et cetera, you will be fine. And majority of the time, yeah, unless you're getting rushed down by Noir's freaking 5 drop, double damage, double swing. God, egregious. Majority of the time, you are going to draw that bridge, and it's just because you're digging 1 card deeper ahead of time, and then on your next turn, that first draw normally ends up being the 0. If not, you AP 1 more time. That's your 0 there. And you most likely are going to have a final in your hand or a final at some point. And a lot of these new decks do allow you to cheat bodies out, which again just adds to the point of you might be behind, but you are able to get back into the game. And let's not mention the fact that if your life is cracked, then you're probably winning the game. Like,
It is what
And
it
like,
is.
and when I do that early, like I don't even like when I do that, how I look at it is on average, I'm sure most games I probably AP draw once per the game, like normally. So when I AP draw early and it lets me play, I'm just like, all right, I did my AP draw now. Like it didn't change anything. I can actually just play now, you know? So I agree. Usually you should have to AP draw and then maybe just one more. And then once you see the 0, you're good. It's just those few games when it doesn't happen.
even
Push
playing
up,
more
push
in
up,
depth,
push up.
all
I
I'll
and then
say
there's
is,
that.
all I'll say is, yo, you just gotta be talented and not brick, man.
Yeah, just don't brick. What are you guys
it
doing?
is.
yeah, bro,
don't brick.
just don't.
I don't know.
brick,
I don't know
bro.
if I agree with your with because if I see my opponent AP draw and I rush them down, I'm not losing that game.
Yeah.
That's
That is
that's
true.
So
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think it's like you can say, well, if you're good enough to be able to block and you lose out on your first or second turn by the AP drawing, you'll be fine. It's like my opponent will not be fine. If I see them action draw, I will go very aggressive, especially if I'm playing something like Spears and I drop four
Guys.
bodies in the front while they're just starting out. The game is over.
No,
Jimmy
I-
basically said, "Don't you dare AP draw in front of
I,
me."
I was gonna say, I hear you, and normally I probably would have agreed with you, but again, this is just something that we as a team have been practicing, and I mean it works.
What's the
Like,
team's name?
11.
Raw.
11.
But you know, this is just something that we've been practicing, and like you know, the results speak for themselves. You know, shout out Greg playing weird decks, shout out legit vocal, shout out me. Like it speaks for itself, and I do think there is a method to the madness. Who knows? It could be a placebo effect, and you know what? If it is a placebo effect,
Yeah.
I want to share this placebo effect with everyone else because it will help you cope as
So,
well.
I will say to that one, for anybody who's wondering about Draw 3, I asked a couple of the Draw 3 members to actually help me learn how to be more competitive. Gutless missed a member of Draw 3. I'm just adding to the counter for you at this point. But I asked him to like go over some mechanics with me and how to do stuff, and he brought this up to me, and I've been practicing it for the past 3 weeks. I really like it. There are games where your opponent has 4, 5 zeros and you lose, sure. But when most people are keeping hands where it's like 0-0 curve, especially against spear decks, it has been phenomenal for my matchups into them. Aggro decks can
Right.
punish you for AP draw.
Yeah.
Non-aggro decks can't.
And all it takes is a few
I-
finals in hand and nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I'd like
finals
to-
do get you back, but that's another I guess problem I see in UA is I think the finals might be a little overtuned by now.
No,
Just-
don't you dare say
No
that.
way.
Don't
no
you dare
way.
say that.
No way.
Don't
I think
No
if my
way. Now-
opponent
now I disagree with you, Jimmy.
I think if my opponent, if we're playing the same deck and my opponent drops a couple finals on me, I feel like I'm so behind. I feel like it's just like it's an uphill battle especially with like I think I'm more relating it to the Spears because with Spears they're able to play all their
Spears is
bodies
disgusting.
and they still have 2 action points to use their specials, and it just cleared everything in one turn and did 4 damage, and it's just and I didn't have any finals to come back. It's tough.
Bro,
No, you did. They were in
Yes,
your life
yes.
and they weren't your last life. That's where they
Gamer
were.
Yeah.
plays no finals in his deck,
But
and he be top.
I play no finals in my Mina deck.
Yeah, it's
No
like,
finals.
I mean,
Oh, okay, that's
yeah.
unique. Yeah.
It just in some instances, yeah. I mean, in my
Metal
Spears deck, I
bat.
played 3 finals, but
Okay.
Yes.
Whoa.
I think just I don't know.
No,
it's
I
just a tough
you have
thing.
a point. You have a point.
Yeah,
it is
there's a
hard.
point
It is
there.
definitely hard. It's definitely hard to come back after someone plays 2 APs on you. But finals are, I don't think, overpowered.
Yeah, it's
in
all
any
RNG,
way.
right?
It's just
Specials
it's
are
all RNG.
overpowered. It's about how many
Yes.
you see in a game.
Yeah.
Well, what were you saying, Div?
However, what I wanted to talk about was I've talked to every top 16 cut player, and everyone agrees best of 3 is the way to
Oh
go.
yeah,
Oh,
100%.
yeah. Yes.
At minimum, top 32. At minimum.
Like,
for larger
like
events.
if you think you're bricking a lot, cool, brick 1 game, right?
Yeah,
Now
no excuse on the other 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're bricking 3 games in a row,
It's a
Build
problem.
your deck.
sorry,
The
not
deck
to be
building problem.
bad, not to sound rude, but you haven't built a proper deck.
14 zeros,
Personally.
4 ones.
Dude has like
14
16
zeros.
zeros and he's crying. What did I do?
Didn't the
No.
guy have 13 zeros and ones that won the LCQ?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler
I-
did. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't break. That's nuts.
I'm
Legit
telling you,
vocals.
bro.
He belongs to a
it's-
team. What was that?
13
Yeah,
zeros.
What's the name of the
and
team?
Bro,
draw
I put
one.
11 zeros in all my decks, bro. Like I
Like
I don't break.
mathematically, that just is.
I don't know how else to explain to you.
I'm with
Like
you.
it is what it is. I also picking back to the whole ban thing. I forgot to mention, Spear did get pseudo hit because they banned the 1-drop Willy. If you see legit vocals, if you saw his list that won the LCQ, imagine what would have happened if we had the 1-drop Willy and he could search out that 5-drop.
And he
I
could
don't think it
bottom
would
deck
be
all
that
his
blue.
7s. Yes.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
wonder, bro. You have
He
4
would-
wonders that are searching.
And then it's in
what is
life
it,
with all the other no
5
triggers?
deep,
Nah,
7 deep,
I-
5 deep with all the draw.
I know, but imagine a deck that relies on you to draw and mill to find your pieces. You put in a searcher that bottom decks your entire potential playable game-winning hand.
The
It's-
reason
I-
why
No,
they
no,
did
no.
it is because the hybrid was doing disgusting stuff in January.
And I think the color and the zero are that's 8 raid targets for the 1 raid. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. You're already doing so much drawing with the deck. Isn't it a 5 cost the raid?
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Grab it with Vile,
Plus,
with the Wunder.
plus the ratio I think always go with is most likely you should for if the card is a meta raid card, it should be 3 raid targets per 1 raid card.
100%.
That's what I always think, right?
8 can work though.
So no, but he had 2 Willy raids. So for 2 Willy raids, he
Oh,
had
right.
8 raid targets, which was very good.
Right, right. I agree.
Right. Yes, Joe, you wanted to say something?
I do. So, everybody, there is a little bit of a time restraint.
Fair, sorry,
We've been yapping, but this has been fantastic. I
Yeah.
love all this.
Lo
Um,
siento.
I do. Yeah, it's a lot later for me on this coast.
Same, same.
I do want to open up the floor a little bit and let people in chat tell us like anything that they're thinking. I've already received a couple of DMs, so we can touch on and discuss it a tiny little bit. Going back to the main topic point, which was, you know, what can Bandai do to facilitate a very healthy, diverse meta for us to experience? So, Ron the Beast, anybody who's unaware, Ron is the guy who runs like all of the Facebook groups, I think.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. Fantastic dude. I've played against him a couple of times. He's awesome.
Wrong to go.
Yep. He told me a couple of things he wants to see is better variety in meta, where like you can play more things. Card restrictions, number of cards. That one I know we already touched on a little bit. I don't like restricting cards. Maybe there's some point to that. More support for older IPs, like a binder set, more volumes for them, things like that. Restructure the specials so you can only get one special out of your life per game. The other ones go to your hand. I think that's a little ridiculous. I would love it. It's a little ridiculous. Different rules between regionals versus local levels for specific mechanics such as that. Maybe not allowing new sets within 2 weeks of regionals. That I'm becoming interested in. There's an allocation issue happening on the East Coast.
Yes, I've heard about that.
So
Starting with solo
it
leveling.
may be good if we
Do
get
better.
I have
Do
I
better?
know one person at the store. He's in one of my group chats, and I told him if he's selling to scalpers, next time I see him, I'm slapping the ever living shit out of him.
No, that-
Come
that
on,
is
guys.
awful, though.
I got into UA because this game has no scalpers. Are we
I
gonna get
know,
scalpers in this?
literally.
It's a potential issue. It's not an issue yet.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a potential.
I heard about
We
it,
had
too.
the snowstorm, but anyways, moving
One Piece
past
has got
that,
it worse.
He also said rewards for best IP during regionals is a fantastic thing.
Oh,
I agree with
yes.
that. That was the best thing they could have done, but they need to give us the support so that we can do that. More streaming during regionals, especially during the top 16. Multiple matches would be good, or multiple cameras. Someone suggested, like when they're doing the Bandai event where everybody's playing, we have a camera for one live stream of each of the games side by side and a main table. You can overlap those on a live stream. That would be sick. That would be so cool to watch for people who play Bandai games. And as a UA player, sometimes I see Gundam and go, "What the hell are they doing? That looks kind of cool," like, and it could be appealing. And then the new Mulligan system and rules and stuff. So like, he brought up a bunch of those. Did anybody mention anything in chat that we want to shout out?
I have one that I
Yeah.
really, really want to touch on, which is
Sure.
out of everything we've talked about, there's one rule change that I would love for them to implement, and that's the special out of life. I think if the special out of life was a get trigger, it would make this game 1,000 times better, because the special out of life feels so bad in early, it feels bad the second to last life, it feels bad all the time when they have multiples. And it's just, if the special out of life was a get trigger, I've talked to multiple people at every regional I go to, at locals, and everybody's biggest frustration is bricking and specials out of life, multiple specials out of life, and miss opportune times that are just so game ending. That is just, I think that for me, if they would change that, I think this game would be 100 times better for me.
So two things. One, if the way special triggers have made you lose the games, the special triggers have also made you win games.
Right, and
Right?
I don't want to win that way. I don't want to win that game.
Well, no, but that's the game, right? And then two, if you want to get special triggers in your hand, again, and I'm not being rude or I'm not being disrespectful, just play One Piece. That's it. If you want to get triggers into your hand, just play One Piece. Specials is the one thing that has always been a contention ever since the game started, right? But there will be ways later on. Like some of the JP decks have a way where specials can be chosen not to be triggered, right? So there are going to be decks that have that coming soon if we get those.
Garu has that
decks,
protection on his special.
then yes. So you add it, right? So there are things that will happen that you can add to your hand. But changing that all specials, the first special, someone had said this, I think the first special goes through, but the second special you add it to hand or whatever, you're changing the game then. Right?
Fundamentally,
then,
yes.
Then fundamentally changing the game. Then like it does not then you're not playing Union, right? Like again, I'm not
I mean, I haven't played any other game, so I didn't know that.
Fair,
yeah. For me, it's just
no.
that
again, I'm not
special is
searching One
crazy.
Piece deck.
It hurts.
Insane.
Trust me. I set up a god board with SAO where I had 8 swings, swung twice, special.
Yeah.
Like I was like, cool.
But do you think that's a healthy thing in the game?
Well, so
Yes, because I shouldn't have overcommitted that much.
You can
Right?
play around
That's
them.
what
Yeah, no,
I've learned.
specials make
You
you
can't
determine your
always play
attack
around.
orders. But you always have to respect specials possibly being in life. And I do
Yes.
think that's very interesting.
I mean, you still play around it by playing around color triggers, playing around
Yeah.
actives. Like you're still playing around life. You can't play around everything, but I think specials is the one thing that you could just not, like. It's just it'll burn you even if you prepare for it.
It
So
makes
the one
viewing the
thing-
game amazing, though.
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
I
and
lost my
that's what
voice.
I was gonna get.
I lost my voice when he hit the special. I was screaming.
That's the one thing I wanted to get at is they'll probably never change how specials in finals work, and it's because they love the randomness of the game. That is
Mhm.
why
And
they're
that's fair.
allowed
I'm
to
just saying,
Yeah.
from my perspective, that's what I
Yeah,
see.
Of course,
fair,
of course,
fair.
of course.
But
of course.
I don't think they're gonna
Of
change it. But I would love
course.
to have
Yes,
a
yeah,
game
yeah,
where,
yeah.
where
And
you
your
just
magical
outplay your
Christmas
opponent.
land.
Like just outplay your opponent and not worry about specials for both sides.
One thing I would say, which I think would be really cool, Ron did say the best of decks. So you know how players got the gold cards for regionals? What if they make those gold cards, but this time the best performing deck player gets it, right? But they're only limited, but they have to. It's hard because there's already 18 IPs now, so they cannot give 18 gold cards, right? So they'll have to limit it to per season, right? So for this season, the best performing players would be, let's say we have solo leveling, Eva, Demon Slayer, Kagurabashi. What else is coming out? I'm so blanking out, but whatever. 6 that's
Inuyasha,
coming
or
out.
you said Inuyasha?
Yeah, and Inuyasha's Wave 2. It comes in
Slime.
August. Slime, exactly. So those subsets, 6 or 7 of those gold cards will be giving out to top players. I think that would be freaking amazing.
If these older IPs would receive support that makes it so you can at least play the game against them, and then pray for those specials in your life. All right, guys, but this is where I actually want to wrap it up, everybody.
Yes.
Everyone going down the line, Anto, Div, Jimy, Wobble, shout yourselves out. Make sure people know where they can find you. Go ahead.
Yo, it's your boy Lullaby Anto. If you are interested in taking a TCG tea break while you are working, while you're on a long drive, you want to just listen to me rant about my thoughts and opinions, similar to what we do here, just head over to Lullaby Anto on YouTube, and let's take a TCG tea break. I'm also getting into Riftbound as well, so expanding my taste buds when it comes to card games, and I can't wait to see you guys over at the tea house.
Absolutely. Div?
Thank you, Anto. My name is Dev, GG Haven. Said it twice this stream. Just want to point that out. Shout out to everyone, the entire UA community as a whole. I don't think I have found a better and healthier community. No one was fighting. No one was throwing shade. Nothing during the event. Everyone was so happy and so nice, and that's I think what I respect most about the community, because there were other TCGs that I left because they were toxic, but UA is honestly full-heartedly the most fun I have had in the community, and the fact that all of you give me that respect and give me that platform is where I am today, and I thank every one of you. So I don't want to plug myself here, but I want to plug all of you here. Thank you for everything you guys have done for me.
Plug.
Thank you. Oh, I added all of you already in chat. They see. Yeah. Jimy?
Hi, I'm Jimy. Just follow Card Nerds if you want to see gameplay and deck profiles, all that good stuff. Just all Union Arena.
Absolutely. And then Wobble.
WabbleTCG. Just wanted to say you guys are amazing and this community is amazing. And man, I genuinely think this has the potential to be one of the best card games out there for sure. Especially I don't think there's many card games that are great for casual audiences, for new people to hop into card games that haven't played card games, or for people to just casually play and if they want it to be their side card game. So I think this is the best card game for that, and it can just really capitalize off that and continue to grow. Also, make sure you guys come by Saturday for the online tournament. We will be streaming it, participating. Me, Pro DM Joey. Anyone else here going to be in it possibly?
I'll be on it.
Yes, Card
I'm in
Nerds
it
too.
as
Let's
well.
go.
You might see me. Don't know where yet, but you might see me.
Bet.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Saturday, I think 10 a.m., 9 a.m.
10 a.m. 8 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. Central.
Central. Cool. 10 a.m. Central, boys. Come through.
All right.
And W Joey for putting all this together. The
Yes,
goat.
thank you, Joey.
Yes. Yeah. It's been my pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. And if you guys want to do this again, or if you guys want to see it again, comment on this. I'm sure somebody here is going to be transforming this content into something that they have as well in their video. Comment on their videos. Make sure you're following everybody. We're all people looking out for the community, trying to make sure that this place stays happy, healthy, awesome. Thank you all for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.